We're at the end of our long deck profile journey here, and I assure you guys that this has been quite the honest ride. There were a few interesting decks that we're taking into account for future segments here, so if there's something you wanted to see, but not limited to a Dorme Chord list as well, we will eventually get this up. So, for the final day, what in the heck are we giving away? Like, what is so monumental? So, I don't have them just yet. I have 5 test prints coming for a field center project that I was working on. I know, right? MCOL40 is going to make a field center for everybody. The field center is going to be limited to 100 pieces. The test prints are going to be 5 separate ones. They're going to be completely numbered differently. But today's winner is going to walk away with one of those test prints for you guys. So all you guys got to do is, of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Tell me what other deck profiles that you guys want to see. I've been taking a lot of notes from a lot of the repeat things that I'm seeing from people, and we will try to process and do these cool things as time goes on. So, hey, more ideas for more content. And of course, Day 11's winner is down below. Now let's pass it on over to the last of the deck profiles, shall we? Special of Gribet subscribing so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So today I wanted to look at a list for Limbo format, kind of taking a look at the Xiangjian archetype. I was going to include this in OCG Thursday, but I kind of thought it would be a little bit more cool to kind of diverge and kind of dissect this deck a little bit away from OCG Thursday, where we can go a little bit more in depth with this. So this list is specifically designed for, hopefully, by the time we get crossout designator here. A lot of these lists that kind of tend to do this use crossout designator to kind of out certain threats along the way. So this is something that a friend of mine's been messing around with and testing. So we're just going to dig on into this, read some of the card effects, kind of understand why this deck gets the chance to function on the degree that it does. So we have 1 artifact, Lancia. Hey, cross designator target. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. That's, well, the beginning of the hand traps. Now, Ecclesia, the Virtuous in white. So if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. Alright? Easy peasy. You can only special summon one of her once per turn this way. That's also pretty straightforward. And then you can use each of the following effects of Ecclesia the Virtuous in White once per turn. During the main phase quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon a Xiangjian or a Fallen of Albaz from your hand or deck. And then during the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can add this card to your hand. There's some underlying synergy here with this, but that's a story for another day. So we basically effectively have a special summon Lone Fire-esque effect. Okay, so that's basically going to be your starter, because it's not restricted to level, which I think is probably your most important thing. You can beam out any combo piece that you want. Now let's get into the Xiangjians here. So the first one here is Long Yun, the Xiangjian Tactician, and straight off the bat here, it's pretty impressive for pretty impressive stars here. So you can discard one other Xiangjian or a worm monster, special summon this card from your hand. Then you can only special summon, and then you can special summon any tokens. Basically, for discard 1, you get to put this body on the field, and then you get to special summon the tuner. And then the stupid thing about this deck that I think makes this deck the most interesting is all of the tuners that these things summon are, well, all the tokens are tuners. Alright, so don't underestimate that. And of course, you can only special summon Synchro monsters while that token is on the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you can pick your opponent for 1200. Does that mean that this deck has a cheese way to deal with time? Yeah, unfortunately it does. Anytime we get effects like this, I think this deck will be a top contender just because it can cheese in time. Anybody else can do brain kids? So this is our level 4 here. So this is Mo Yi, the Xiangjian Swordsman. So if this card is no more special summon, you can reveal one Xiangjian card or a worm monster in your hand. And if you do, special summon the token. Alright, once again you get linked or locked into Synchro summoning while that token's on the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you could draw a card. So straight off the bat here, we have a token, we have an extender, and we have a draw power card. Alright, we already know we're off to the races here when your first 2 power cards are this dang good. Alright? We also have 2 copies in the bureau, of course. This is completely optional. You can rotate this for anything else that you might think might end up being slightly better. It's up to you. Of course, we have triple gamma here. Of course, I want to resolve my good effects. Then our last Xiangjian here is you can banish 1 Xiangjian or a worm from your graveyard. Just splash summon a token. You get locked into synchros yet again. That's fine. And then, if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can send 1 Xiangjian card or a worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. Alright, easy peasy. So it's additional dump power. We'll get into the spell traps here in a second. We also have the 1 copy of our brick. So, pretty straightforward stuff here for the monster lineup. Spells, we have 1 Call by the Grave and triple copies of Crossout Detonator. Of course. Like, why wouldn't you want to have the best cards available to make sure that your deck can play the game? We have 2 Forbidden Droplets, 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Desires, and then we hit the spells and traps here. So the Xiangjian Dragon Sword appears. Ooh. So we get to add 1 of our monsters from our deck to our hand, or if we control a Synchro monster, you can add a worm monster instead. I mean, this is just going to search for a Xiangjian anyway, which is fine by me. Alright? If this card is banished, you can target 1 Xiangjian monster or a worm monster, increase or reduce its level by 1 till the end of the turn. So what you're telling me here is we can just banish this, because this just banishes anything, and we can start messing with level modification. That's cute, actually. Now we have 1 of the Grand Spiritual Peaks. So we can target 1 monster in our graveyard, that's Xiangjian, or if we control Synchro, we can target a worm instead, which is fine. Alright, and Special Summon. So we got a Revive. Then we can target, or if this gets banished, it's the same thing. We can increase or decrease said level of a card, which, once again, more level modification. That tends to be a really cool trend with this deck, actually. So, alright, that's not bad. 4 cards that level modify. We also have the 1 Imperm because, you know, Crossout Detonator shenanigans. And then we have the triple copies of the Sudden Shift. So we target 1 worm monster you control, 2 cards your opponent controls, and destroy them. Alright, if this card is banished, you get to special summon the token. Alright, and then remember the token actually locks you, but the value for this is the fact that you just get to banish this and get the free token on the field. Alright, do not underestimate token generation effects. There's a reason why these things are busted. The extra deck down here, we have 1 Dragbublomong with the 1 Hope Harbinger in the 1 number 100. Hey, OTK fodder is always a good thing. That's what you're going to get with this package here. Now, we also get access to Yazi here. And you guys remember how great Yazi popping 1, and you get the ability to split apart effectively and start dealing with other threats from the opponent. It's really good. We're also playing Ruddy Rose. This meets the requirements for the level 10 here, because remember, the tuner you'll summon will be 4-star off of this, which will be fine. You get access to Ruddy. We have the 1 copy of Omega here, of course. And then we get into the synchros for this deck. So it's 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner worm monster, which is easy. So on Synchro Summon, you get to add to your hand or banish 1 Xiangjian card. Alright, so literally, you want to extend out a token through this? You can. If you want a Rhoda for the big guy, you can. And that's just straight away on your level, either of your level 4s. Get you to this point. Like, easy peasy, sure. Then we have 1 copy of the Xiangjian, the Xiangjian Guard Duke. Okay, so this is completely generic. Gains 1 attack defense for each of your banished cards. So it's going to get a little bit of a buff. Monsters your opponent controls will lose 100 attack for each of your banished cards. So we're going to really spread that attack around. Okay, that seems pretty good. And then if this card be destroyed by card effect and banish 1 card from your graveyard instead, oh god, it floats. Alright, that's automatically good. And then, if a card of cards is banished, except during damage step, you can banish 1 card from each of your opponent's field and graveyard. There's a lot to take in from this. But the biggest thing here is that attack separation for just 2 banished cards, that's a 400 difference on attack points. Sin can single-handedly out 3k beaters, which seems really good. And has built-in protection. Like, I can definitely see why this card's an annoyance. We also have 2 copies of Boxia, of course. Then we get access to Barondess de Fleur here. So once per turn, target 1 card in the field, destroy it. Once per turn, while this card is face up on the field, when a card effect is activated, quick effect, and you get that activation, you destroy that card. Alright, that's truthfully really all we care about, other than once per turn during the standby phase, target 1 level 9 or lower synchro monster in your graveyard. trying to say the extra didn't do special on that monster. What if I want to float back into this? Or, you know, something else. Weird interactions. Then we have one Dragite. Now, one interesting here, I want to point out that we can instant fusion here into this guy. This is actually a tuner monster that on instant fusion gives you access to kind of start tutoring for more pieces of your engine in case something goes wrong. It's actually technically an extender, which is pretty cool for this deck. Inside deck here we have 2 Artifact Lancia, 1 Scythe, 1 Pinkertops, 1 Droll, 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Nibiru, 1 Harvey's Feather Duster, triple Lightning Storm, triple Artifact Sanctum, and 1 more Imperm, wrapping up the last day of deck profiles for everybody. What do you guys think about our journey? Guys, excited? Make sure you guys get entered in today to get the awesome chance to pick up what we have for this video. And, well, of course, I will see your beautiful faces back here later on the day. Some more cool, awesome content. I will see this later on in December. You guys have a good rest of your day. All right, peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.